Back right it'll come. Fulmer to Anderton.
Well, they're running that delay game right now.
20 seconds until the intermission. Kazera has it on the left side, out beyond three-point range. Hazelton at the left wing, out between the circles to Anderton. 10 seconds left in the second quarter. Anderton working against Muhammad, driving and laying it in.
And I don't know if Muhammad's ankle's bothering, but Ryan Anderton just flew by him.
And again, Sharon will not get the shot off in time. We're at halftime of the District 10 Boys AAA Basketball Championship contest, and the Franklin Knights, halfway to their first D10 title ever, are holding a 15-point lead. The score, the Knights 33, the Sharon Tigers 18. Outings on this Friday evening in the final day of District 10 boys basketball play, with the exception of the Quad A Championship game at Grove City College. That Tidiute-Conneaut Valley game followed at 8 o'clock, just about now. As a matter of fact, they should be in progress. Cochranton playing Kennedy Christian in the Boys A final. We're started already. Nate Keith driving the right side of the paint. He is starting in the second half. He gets the layup to put Franklin up by 17 points.
Well, Tim, evidently Sharon did not scout the Hickory game the other night, because the opening play to give Franklin their first 2 points, and the opening play in the second half was the opening play of this second half, where Nate gets the ball from the handoff and goes in for the layup.
Shahid Muhammad short on the jumper. Fast break opportunity. Nate Keith with 2 more.
Well, and Nate having an opportunity to maybe jam it, but he's going up in this important ball game and just laying it in. Good play by Nate.
37-18 Franklin, still in the first minute of the second half. Trying to work it inside. Now they do. Turn around, Henderson, good.
Well, they went right after Nate Keith, though. He was guarding Roberto Henderson, and Nate just stood there with his arms up, did not contest his shot. And Henderson has some height on him anyways. It was an easy shot.
Anderton taking it himself, goes up left-handed on the layup, and it's good.
And again, he just flew right by Muhammad in there for a left-handed layup.
I don't know if you'd call it showtime yet at this point, but we're seeing some individual performances here to start the second half for the Knights. 39-20, the red and black. Here's a steal by Kazera. Kazera trying to beat Muhammad. He does. The layup is good.
And I look for a quick timeout, and here it comes.
The Sharon Tigers wanting a timeout. And a big hand from the red and black fans below us. We'll get ready to take a timeout. 6:28 left in the third quarter. The score, the Knights 41, the Tigers 20. Back in 60 seconds on 1450 WFRA. Sharon's second possession since the timeout. Missed shot, but underneath the putback is good. Answering underneath to Ken Cashabera for the Tigers. Sharon had the ball after a quick timeout. Franklin came up with a steal. Kazera with that steal, handing off to Hazelton. His jumper didn't go, though. Here's Kazera for three, rims the basket. No good. Rebound taken away by Dan Bell of Sharon.
And Matt, just a little bit too far out. That's NBA range. And again, it's not really a bad shot, but it's a shot he can take just about any time. I think they need to run a little offense before he shoots that.
Brady dishing off left to Bell. Inside, ball kicked away, knocked out of bounds by Hazelton of Franklin. So Franklin will defend against the inbounds pass as they lead by 19, 41-22, with 5:22 left in the third quarter. The ball's inbounded to Bell in the left corner. Here's a foul on Fulmer, getting Bell on the arm on the pass attempt to Brady.
And that will be Jason's second. First team foul of the second period. First foul on either team.
Across the way near the left corner is where Sharon will inbound. And the ball will come in to Brady. Josh Brady at the point. Passes left. And now back around to the right it'll come, and this is Bell. Jump pass as he couldn't take the shot, gets it to Henderson, right baseline. Henderson around Nate Keith, lays it in, and the lead is 17.
Well, again, Nate in no position there, and he backed off, not committing that foul.
Anderton slowly across the time court for the Knights. Left with the pass to Keith. Cross court to Anderton, now near the right corner to Fulmer, to the post to Keith. Turnaround after one dribble is good. Jumper by Nate Keith, 43-24. Franklin by 7, make that 19 points. And Nate Keith in with 13 points. Baseline move by Bell, misses the shot. Putback is good. That's Roberto Henderson with 2.
And he's in with 10 there, Tim. And Franklin wanting an offensive foul as Henderson banged into somebody, but it wasn't called.
And Henderson only had 2 points total in the first 2 playoff games for Sharon, and only 4 points total in the first 2 meetings with the Knights. Here's Keith with a fall-away jumper. No good this time. Cashabera with the rebound, and now he'll hand off to a teammate.
And Sharon went into a half-court trapping defense off that basket.
We just passed the midway point of the third quarter. Sharon trailing by 19. Off-balance one-hander will draw the foul. Shot didn't go, but this should be a 2-shot shooting situation at the Sharon charity line for Dan Bell.
And that's going against Jason Fulmer. It's his third, so Franklin now has 2 players with 3 fouls, and at the 3:53 mark, we see the 3-for-3 substitution.
On the free throw line, Dan Bell, a 6'2 junior. He's averaging 16 points for Sharon in the first 2 games of the playoffs. Hits the first of 2 from the free throw line. His 3rd point of the night. Second is good. Franklin up by 15 at 43-28. Anderton approaching midcourt. He'll be picked up there by Rose. Setwick's in there, Gardner and McLaughlin as well. That means we're in the second half of the third quarter. Zetwick for 3, left side, good.
And that's the shot Adam hits. He gets that ball out there, and he just sort of flat-footed, no jump, and he hit nothing but net.
Franklin 46, Sharon 28. Brady left with it against Anderton. Bounce pass to the post to Cashabera, working against McLaughlin. Inside McLaughlin, traveling called. Sharon turns it over.
Well, that's the same play that happened earlier in the ball game, and I believe he got away with it. This time the referee right on it, making the call.
And Sharon pressing. Anderton goes behind the back on the dribble against Brady. Anderton into the front court, left side, looking toward the point. Bounce pass over to the right to Kazera, working the right side of the lane. One-hander no good, but the foul's called on the Tigers.
And that's going to go on Matt Rose. It's his second. Matt will be at the line to shoot 2. Only the first team foul on Sharon with 3:04 left in the third period.
Well, now here's a 3-on-3 switch for the Tigers as Shahid Muhammad, Anthony Watkins, and Eric Hobson all check in. Hobson is a 6'4 senior who didn't see any action in the first 2 meetings of the year with the Knights.
Matt's in with 11 points. He's 2 for 2 from the foul line, shooting 2 here.
Makes the first one. And with this one, At the foul line to our left, he can put the Knights ahead by 20 points. Free throw is good. Franklin 48, Sharon 28, 3:04 left in the third quarter. Zetwick picks up Brady at half court. Left it'll come to Muhammad. He'll work it inside the paint himself. Now dish off at the last minute to Henderson. Blocked by John McLaughlin.
And John from behind getting the block shot.
Anderton racing it down court. Stopping at the point. He'll take the three-pointer. Short. And the one-handed rebound's ripped away by Watkins. Down court comes Sharon. McLaughlin knocks it away from Muhammad, and they call it out of bounds on Sharon. Franklin gets the basketball.
And Tim, I'm not sure John McLaughlin even got a hand on that. I think Muhammad went up to shoot the ball, but just kind of lost it out of bounds as Sharon's in her half-court pressing defense again.
Kazera, half-length slant pass, I guess you would call it, into the left corner. Pass back, though, goes out of bounds. Kazera's pass was a good one. Franklin just couldn't set it up on the rebound pass.
Well, Adam Zetwick passing to a cutting player in the middle, but just too many bodies and nobody touching it at all.
On the weave, it's Muhammad off to Hobson. Looking into the right corner for Shahid Muhammad. Can't get it to him there, and there's nobody else to pass to. Now Josh Brady comes over, takes the bounce pass. Outside, Anthony Watkins working against Kazera. Shot good, though they may call the foul on the move to the bucket.
They're calling it on the floor.
So no field goal for Sharon. Foul going on the Knights. Matt Kazera, I assume. 2 minutes left in the third quarter as Hazelton, Keith, and Fulmer all come back in.
Well, they didn't call that on Matt Kazera. They called it on Dan Gardner, and it's his second. I thought Matt made the foul, but we'll take it. We'll be out of bounds on the side.
Gardner, Kazera, and Anderton all sit down on that 3-for-3 switch for the Knights. Hobson inbounding to Muhammad down the right side of the paint, floating one-hander from about 10 feet too long, but it's rebounded on the other side, and the foul's going on the Knights. Anthony Watkins didn't make the shot on the putback, but does draw the foul. He'll go to the line for two.
And that's going to go against Nate Keith, and poor Nate just not having much luck here. That, again, just a bad call. Nate Keith giving the basket up. He stood still with his hands straight up in the air, never moved, and the player jumped into him. It should have been a no call is what it should have been, but they called it on Matt Kazera. Watkins will be at the line to shoot two.
First of two by the 6'3" senior is good. He'll have another opportunity, and it's an opportunity at Sharon's 30th point. Franklin by 19 right now, with 1:52 left in the third quarter of this District 10 AAA Basketball Championship. Watkins hits this one as well. 48-30 is the score. And Zetwick will set things up for the Knights. Well, still on the backcourt, he'll hand off to Fulmer. It'll come back to Adam. Now he'll break the timeline with another pass to Fulmer. Fulmer double-teamed, and a blocking foul is called on Sharon.
And Sharon wanting to walk, Jason rolling around on the floor, but the push is how he got there. The foul going against...
That's on Eric Hobson.
Eric Hobson, his first, only the second team foul for Sharon.
Ball inbounded into the backcourt to Fulmer. Now he finds Zetwick across the line. One pass, Zetwick has to get rid of it. Dumps it off to Hazelton, to McLaughlin. John for two.
Well, that play was set up by Adam Zetwick. He was double-teamed, made a nice pass to the foul line to Hazelton, and Hazelton just dumping it off for the easy basket.
Inside, it's Hobson. His one-hander missed. Rebound Hazelton for the Knights. Feeds Zetwick. Here comes Franklin. Double dribble will be called. Zetwick was going to pass it a step earlier. Found out he couldn't, changed his mind. In the meantime, he put the ball on the boards one more time. Franklin up 50-30, a minute 16 left in the third quarter. The Knights have turned it over. Brady to set it up for Sharon. Brady to the right. Still headed to the right, toward the corner. Gets it to Watkins, right baseline going against Kazera. Nice move, Anthony Watkins, changing hands in midair and putting it in right-handed.
Well, John McLaughlin was down there double-teaming, and for some reason he left him, and that left the lane wide open to the basket.
50-32. There's McLaughlin, bounce pass to Kazera. Matt will shoot for three. No good. One-handed rebound, McLaughlin. And his putback is blocked out of bounds. Getting that from behind was Anthony Watkins, who's come alive here in the last couple of minutes.
Well, John doing a good job getting position, getting the rebound. But John gets in there sometimes, and instead of going straight up, he gives it a couple head and shoulder fakes, and he's not real quick there, and he probably should be going straight up with the ball. And
Kazera's inbound pass is knocked right back out by Anthony Watkins. Matt will set it up again. Kazera to lob it into McLaughlin. Looking for Anderton. Ryan just checked back in for Adam Zetwick. Ryan will take the pass out near the midcourt circle. Left to Hazelton. Back out to Ryan. 32 seconds left in the third quarter, and Franklin eating up clock.
Right, they're in what they call their spread offense there. They're just running for the last shot.
On the right, this is Anderton. The Franklin Knights just a little more than 8 minutes away from the school's first ever District 10 Basketball Championship. 12 seconds left in the third quarter. Anderton out near the midcourt circle. Coming left, down to 6 seconds. Anderton will take the popper himself. Off the back of the rim, no good. Tip-in attempt is good. Jason Fulmer for the Knights.
And Tim, that's one of those where you don't know who did the tip, but Jason Fulmer coming out of there with the clenched fist raised to the sky. You knew it was him.
At the end of 3 quarters, the score, Franklin 52, Sharon 32. Sharon Tigers open up play following that break at the end of the third quarter with Shahid Muhammad taking one himself. Muhammad with the one-handed field goal. Sharon trailing by 18 underneath. John McLaughlin's one-hander won't go. Franklin coming away with it. Foul called on the Tigers.
And that looks like it's going to go on Anthony Watkins. It will be his second. But I believe it's only the third team foul on Sharon, so Franklin taking it out of bounds.
Kazera looking to the left corner for McLaughlin, now back outside near the midcourt circle. It'll come to Anderton. 52-34 now. Franklin by 18. Franklin losing the ball out of bounds. Jason Fulmer thought the bounce pass to him was going to come up a little bit higher than it did apparently. It skittered under his hands and out of bounds at the Franklin bench. Sharon coming back. They've had the one field goal of the fourth quarter. Shahid Muhammad inside, dishes it back out. Here's Dan Bell. His fall away, no good. Rebound, Matt Kazera of the Franklin Knights. Kazera bringing it to the front court himself. Bounce pass left baseline. Hazelton driving and getting blocked and fouled.
And I think Sharon has gone into a box-on-one defense here. They're playing Ryan Anderton man-to-man with Muhammad, it looks like. I'm going to have to check on that again and see. And the other 4 guys are playing zone.
Well, Dave Hazelton, who had 4 points in the first half and was shut out in the third quarter, will go to the line to shoot 2 on foul number 3 by Ken Cashabera. Free throw in and out, no good.
And Dave, usually very reliable with the line, missed his last 3 in a row.
He's 3 for 5, or rather 2 for 5 right now. And this one's no good. Underneath, a foul called.
And they're calling it on Ken Cashabera there as he cleared out. And that's at least the second or third time this evening that he's been called for, or that he's done that. The first time that he's been called for it.
Foul number 4 on Ken Cashabera. Foul number 5 in the second half on the Sharon Tigers. So after 2 missed free throws by Dave Hazelton, Franklin will get the ball. Kazera lobbing it out deep near midcourt to Anderton. Right, it'll come to Fulmer. Jason looking to the right wing, bouncing it out to Kazera.
And I believe it is a box on one.
Kazera looking left to Anderton. Anderton takes the pass and gives it up to Fulmer. Jason inside the paint, fouled from behind. Dan Bell sticking his hand in there, trying for the steal attempt. Foul on Bell, and one more time, Franklin will inbound.
Well, Tim, evidently they had a mistake on the fouls for Sharon because it went from 3 to 6, but it still will not be the 1-and-1.
Well, we had the two quick ones on Ken Cashabera, but from now on we'll be in the bonus situation. This time around, though, the Knights will inbound across the way, but in the front court. Kazera. Fulmer waiting for the pass near the midcourt circle, and when Matt can't find anything inside, he'll give it outside to Jason.
And Sharon in a straight zone now. They're not playing the box.
Fulmer left side going to the baseline. Bumped and fouled. Not much contact there, but the foul called on Dan Bell.
Well, that was one of those where they've been calling. He put two hands on Jason tagging, and once you get two hands on, it's going to be called. It will be a 1-on-1. Jason at the line to shoot the 1-on-1, in with 4 points, his first trip to the charity stripe.
Adam Zetwick back in, replacing John McLaughlin, and Matt Rose comes in place of Eric Hobson for Sharon.
Well, Franklin needs to hit a few of these foul shots. If they don't, it's still giving Sharon a breath of life there. They think they might be able to get back into it.
Jason Fulmer's free throw is missed. Ball deflected out of bounds. It goes out off Dave Hazelton, who reached a hand inside two Sharon players to try to get it. Sharon will inbound. 6:40 left in the fourth quarter. Franklin leading the Tigers by 18 points, 52-34. Muhammad to the point. Anderton on him. Pass to the left, now into the post. Now they'll find Henderson right baseline. Henderson is free, and he lays it in.
Well, somebody went over to help out and didn't get back in time. That was just a fine play by Sharon.
52-36, Henderson with a dozen points for the Tigers. A steal. Muhammad takes it away from Anderton. It'll be a 1-on-1, and Anderton will let him take it. And it's Shahid Muhammad with two on a layup. 52-38 now.
Franklin taking the timeout.
And Coach Bill Hager wants to talk things over. Again, the score 52-38 in favor of Franklin. 6:04 left in the fourth quarter. We'll be back in 60 seconds on 1450 WFRA. For critics of Tri-County Athletic Conference Division II basketball, the Tiddie Bulldogs are going on to the inter-districts. They beat Conneaut Valley 62-54 tonight in the third place game in District 10 Class A. Jason Fulmer has two for the Knights as play resumes, and Sharon answers immediately. Shahid Muhammad with two. The lead back to 14 now at 54-40. Here comes Fulmer again. Jump pass is deflected. Dan Bell getting a hand on it, and coming out of there with the basketball, the Sharon Tigers. Watkins off to Rose. Underneath Bell with the layup, and the Tigers cut the lead to 12 points.
Well, Franklin's got to come down and run a little bit of clock off here each time. About 20 seconds. They're trying to score a little bit too fast.
Hazelton, give and go to Fulmer. Up off the glass, in and out, no good. Kazera hatcheted on the rebound. Foul on Sharon's Anthony Watkins.
And that will be his third. And Matt will be going to the line to shoot a 1-on-1 situation. And, again, Franklin coming down, not running any time off the clock there. Right now they have the 12 need to run a little bit of clock, still try to get some points.
Kazera hits from the free throw line. 14 points for Matt Kazera in this D10 championship contest. Ken Cashabera, who has 4 fouls, checks back in for Sharon.
And also, they've got to come back and play a little bit better defense than they had the last 2 or 3 trips down the floor. They're giving Sharon too easy of a shot too early.
Kazera's second is good. 56-42 Franklin. 5:05 left in this one. Muhammad racing it down court to the point. That's where he stops up. Knocked away for a minute by Anderton. Shaheed gets it back, and then Anderton blocks the ball away from Muhammad. The ball's loose. Sharon diving for it. A foul on the Knights.
And again, just 2 or 3 places where fouls could have been called. Both players going after the ball, and they calling a foul on Adam Zetwick. It's his second, the 15th foul. Strange call.
Inbounding. Rose to Muhammad for the Tigers. Muhammad bumping with Anderton inside the paint. Gets the turnaround off this time, and it's good.
He's in with 8 points in the 4th period.
The lead back to 12 as Sharon's making the score respectable. Here's Zetwick. Bell goes for the steal, can't get it. Adam back outside to Anderton. Scoops it off to Zetwick, and his pass back is stolen. Here comes Watkins, working one-on-one with Anderton. Layup good, lead now to 10 points. This Sharon Tigers team has never given up this year. They lost to Franklin by 31 points, came back a week later, and fought to within 11. At midcourt, a foul will be called.
And we're calling it on Anthony Watkins. It's his 4th.
Watkins not too happy about it, but behind him, just from what I can see out of the corner of my eye, I thought maybe there should have been a foul called on Matt Rose. We will go to the Franklin charity stripe. We mentioned Sharon played Franklin much better and much more closely in the second meeting within a week back in early January. Sharon was pretty much written off early in the season from the Mercer County Athletic Conference race. They stayed tied with Grove City through a AAA play. They lost to Grove City in overtime on the last day of the regular season and had to win a tiebreaker to finish ahead of the Eagles in the number 2 position from the Mercer County League going into the playoffs. Came from a deficit, scoring 29 points in the 4th quarter to beat Erie East in the quarterfinals. Upset unbeaten General McLean in the semifinals. Then they fought back to within 10 here. Now it's 11 points as Ryan Anderton hits from the free throw line.
Well, and Franklin put themselves back in where they need to hit the foul shots.
Ryan misses the second. It's an 11-point lead with 4:14 left. 57-46 Franklin. Into the front court, Josh Brady, who's back in there. Right with a pass, Shaheed Muhammad has it stolen by Anderton. Anderton, from a seated position, deflects it off a teammate to Matt Kazera.
And we're under the 4-minute mark. Now they need to run 30 seconds every time down the floor.
Nate Keith back in. He has the ball on the left side. Jason Fulmer bumped and fouled. That'll stop the clock with 3:50 left. That foul on Sharon's Eric Thompson.
It's his second, but Jason will be going to the line. They're going to force the Franklin Knights to make their foul shots. Jason is 0 for 1 from the foul line.
Jason has 3 field goals for 6 points tonight. You may wonder why we don't talk about the scoring averages for the Knights all that much. That's because it's always been a very well-balanced scoring attack. Free throw missed, but Nate Keith gets the rebound and brings it back outside deep. Now underneath, Fulmer was free for the layup for a minute. He's blocked and fouled. That will be 5 on Ken Cashabera.
And Nate going right to Jason Fulmer, who was underneath all by himself. Cashabera coming over, committing the foul, and he's out. Jason will be going to the line, but we've got to start knocking some of these down.
Well, Ken Cashabera has not played his last basketball for Sharon High School. This Sharon team, by virtue of what will be at least a second-place finish in the district, will go on to the inter-districts. The top 3 teams will go on. That includes these 2 squads and the winner of tonight's Hickory General McLean game. Jason Fulmer misses the first of 2.
And Franklin is now 3 for 8 in this 4th period.
Jason hits this one. 12-point lead for the Knights, 58-46. Franklin made 7 of 9 down the stretch against Hickory. Muhammad loses the ball away. Hazelton off to Fulmer. 2-on-1. Keith back to Fulmer. Layup missed. Jason tries to tip it in. Ball's loose. Out of bounds. It's Franklin's basketball.
Well, Jason a little bit tentative out there. He should have went up strong.